Before we begin, two things. One, massive spoilers for Breaking Bad. And two, there's new Browntable merch. There's 2 new shirts on CrowdMade, the grunge Browntable logo shirt, and a dope Hope Griffin t-shirt from the anime I'm developing, Interstellar Ranger Commence. If you don't know what that is, check the trailer in the description, and check the description as well to get some epic shirts. Wait, who the heck is this guy? If you don't know what Breaking Bad is, it's confirmed you're living under a rock. The show was, and honestly still kind of is, immensely popular. It's been nominated and has won countless Emmys, it's had a spin-off and a movie, and it's honestly incredible. So of course, the one thing missing from such a hit series is a remake.
Please! No!
So, you know that weird need the US has to take films or shows from other countries and remake them? That's what pretty much happened to Breaking Bad, but in Colombia. Why? I have no f***ing clue.
Mi nombre es Walter Blanco.
Metastasis aired on June 12th, 2014, about a year after the original show ended. Maybe it was the appeal of this huge show in the US that doesn't have an insane budget. Maybe it's the fact that Latin America is in love with shows related to drugs, cartel, and crime. Here's the thing, right? I'm not gonna spend a month or two just watching all of Breaking Bad again and Metastasis because I'd probably go insane and break bad myself, so I decided to keep it simple. I'd watch 4 episodes from both Breaking Bad and Metastasis. I'd watch the first and last episodes of the series, the pilot and Felina, both directed by Vince Gilligan in Breaking Bad, and then throw in 2 additional episodes, the top ranking episodes from Breaking Bad according to IMDb. So the Rian Johnson directed Ozymandias and the Vince Gilligan directed Face Off in Breaking Bad. I was gonna name the episode directors of Metastasis, but I think they'd rather not have their names attached to that series any more than they should.
You just give me an hour to... I need to collect my wife and kids, okay?
Lo que quiera, diga lo que quiera. Y... denme una hora.
Now before we start, doesn't Walter White's head remind you of something? That's right, balls. By the way, this will be my greatest ad read ever. Oh, didn't see you there. Us guys want to keep our areas all fresh and clean. What better way to keep it all smooth and sexy than by using Manscaped? Prepare for me to talk about my balls. We all know that we want to keep our balls good looking, especially if it's a special night, but sometimes when you're trimming, you know, the balls can get as cut up as Jesse got cut up in Breaking Bad.
Just go!
I get it!
But thankfully Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-waist grooming, is here with their performance package. And trust me when I tell you, my crotch has never felt better. The performance package includes the waterproof lawnmower 3.0 for you to use on your family jewels, and waterproof means waterproof. It can withstand being submerged a meter deep underwater for 30 minutes. Call that motherfucker Aquaman. The 3.0 version also features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to the advanced skin-safe technology pioneered by Manscaped. It also includes the Crop Preserver, which is deodorant, Crop Reviver, which is toner, and the Weed Whacker, which is a nose and ear hair trimmer. You Chads get 20% off and free shipping with the code Browntable at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com using code Browntable. Link in the description. And remember guys, when you trim the hedges, the tree stands taller. The pilot. It sets the tone for the entire series. It's brilliantly paced, perfectly acted, and it's so well directed. That feeling Walt has of being discontent with his life is on full mustache-filled display here. And what's crazy is that the scripts for every episode of Metastasis is a word-for-word translation of the episodes of Breaking Bad, so if it's pretty much the same, it can't be bad, can it? It's shit. This is a perfect example of how important direction, cinematography, and editing are to a series. Metastasis is a soap opera, a telenovela papi, which means everything looks cheap, even though the cameras they used to film are ridiculously expensive. The color grading is abysmal, everything feels slightly overexposed, it's just not good. Even though it could just adapt everything from the original show, even the direction, it usually decides to change shots up. But for the worse, because the show is 75% medium or medium close-up shots. The show's pacing is also slightly altered, scenes keep going a little too long sometimes, and sometimes they're slightly too short.
I watched Jane die. I was there, and I watched her die. I watched her overdose and choke to death. I could have saved her, but I didn't.
¿Usted se acuerda de la novia que tenía? Esa que quería tanto, Juana. Yo la vi morir. ¿Cómo le parece? ¿Cómo le parece que yo estaba en su casa la noche en que murió? Estaba ahí al lado. Los dos estaban completamente drogados. Y ella de repente empezó a vomitar. Y yo vi cómo se ahogaba en su propio vómito. Y no hice nada. Y podía haberla salvado. Y no lo hice.
And of course, who can forget, there's countless commercial breaks which kill all the tension. It's like the Metastasis writers just saw the script and made it play out, but didn't understand the details and reasons as to why things are happening in the story. Like for example, in Metastasis, Walter and Skylar are just talking in bed, and Skylar is making Walt feel good, if you know what I mean, but they're constantly staring at each other. In Breaking Bad, the entire point is that while these two are physically close to each other, they're not even really looking at each other. Skylar is paying more attention to her laptop. And I was not lying when I said the direction was bad. Look at this lighting. This is a real shot. When I started watching Metastasis, I was like, maybe these actors are actually pretty good, but they're directed badly. After watching 4 episodes, I've come to realize that the actors are actually shit as well.
You want this?
Say the words. Nothing happens until I hear you say it.
I want this.
Simplemente hágalo.
Dígalo. Dígame que quiere que lo mate.
Esto es lo que quiero.
What the f?
What interests me a lot is that Jesse in Metastasis is quote-unquote a pretty boy, compared to Aaron Paul, who looks good but less like a supermodel. So when I saw this scene in Metastasis, the scene where Jesse has an absolutely f***ed up face, I audibly yelled. The dude has a tiny scar on his face, probably because they don't want to cover up that pretty face with ugly bruises. Aww. Bad decisions like these muddle Metastasis, but there is no decision more horrific than the music.
Yes. Lung cancer. Inoperable.
Sí. Cáncer de pulmón no es tratable quirúrgicamente.
Now I'm thinking 25.
Ya sé, 50 millones de pesos.
Now I'm thinking 25.
For example, in the pilot of Breaking Bad, we see the White family having breakfast. The scene is played for realism, establishing the characters in Walt's life, as well as showing off how mundane and uninteresting Walt's life is. In Metastasis, we get funky music. Yeah, alright. The scene isn't meant to be realistic and mundane, it's meant to be quirky. Look at how real this dialogue is, it's so funny. Here's a bunch of other shit I noticed from watching the pilot and Face Off. Walt doesn't feel uncomfortable enough at his own party. The show actually wouldn't be as bad if it didn't add music all the time.
50, 60, la misma vaina. Pues si usted está no se ve deprimido, usted me tiene que contar a mí.
5 minutes later.
Esos son los ahorros de toda mi vida.
Look at the meth in this scene.
Acá hay cristales de 4, 5 centímetros. Esto es puro vidrio, profe, esto es arte.
It's opaque though. In Face Off, when Walt asks the neighbor to get into his house, in the original we never leave Walt's car. In Metastasis, we follow the neighbor that we have zero attachment to. They also made Gus the whitest Hispanic dude I've ever seen. Hilariously enough, they also made his henchman guy white as well. Alright baby, it's Ozymandias time. It's time for the absolute best episode of Breaking Bad. Rian Johnson, Vince Gilligan, and Moira Walley-Beckett absolutely killed it. But the only problem is that Metastasis didn't just kill it, it butchered it.
Look how they massacred my boy.
One thing that was very easy to notice about Ozymandias is that the first quarter of the episode is so important, dramatic, and suspenseful that to not break the immersion, they purposely had the opening credits start after the desert altercation and Walter finally gets into his car. Metastasis, of course, doesn't give a shit, not only giving us some absolutely terrible acting, but the worst performance ever by a supposed antagonist, and honestly, even more terrible acting.
You're too stupid to see. He made up his mind 10 minutes ago.
Es el más estúpido. ¿Tú no se da cuenta? Este man hace 10 minutos tomó la decisión de matarme.
Now this is the episode where I realized that no, the actors honestly are just terrible, and it is also their fault that the show is so bad. Another ridiculously important scene in the series is when Walt Jr. and Skyler are all at home and have their big argument. Remember how they're all worried at the beginning and Walt Jr. doesn't really know what's going on? He thinks his mom and aunt are lying about his dad, and Skyler slowly asks Walt what happened to Hank?
Where is he? Where's Hank? Where is Hank? Where is Hank? You killed him. You killed Hank.
What? No.
In Metastasis, everyone already hates Walt from the beginning, and Skyler asks him only once before saying Walt killed him.
Lo mataste.
No.
Walter Blanco's acting is also awful.
No! I tried to save him!
Uncle Hank is dead.
No.
Hey, Mom, it can't be true.
Stop,
It
please,
just can't
please.
be.
No. Yo traté de salvarlo, te lo juro, no. Por favor, confíen en mí.
There's also the scene where Holly says mama, and the most important part, which is Walt's heartbreaking realization that Holly should return to her mother, is cut. It's gone.
Confirmado como se...
There's no reaction shot. Nothing. So the scene is just Holly saying mama just because, man. And then we get to my personal favorite scene from Ozymandias, the call. This scene is so important, and not only do they add music to kill all the tension, not only does the scene have zero direction, not only is Walt's face obscured 90% of the time so we don't even see his acting, but the acting itself is so f***ing bad. And Walter Blanco, tu esposa está actuando mejor que tú eres un actor horrible. I mean, look at this.
Walt, I just want Holly back. Just come home.
I've still got things left to do.
Tráeme a Valentina, por favor.
Todavía tengo cosas que hacer.
Trust me when I tell you, this is the most faithful yet faithless adaptation I've ever seen. In the original, where the firemen are playing chess, the chess match is deliberately set up so white cannot win the game. Meanwhile, in Metastasis, it's just a random chess move. I was gonna keep this video going with Felina, but trust me when I tell you, it's the same shit. From over-dramatizing everything...
I slipped it into that stevia crap that you're always putting in your tea. Oh my God. Goodbye, Lydia.
Se la puse en la porquería ese endulzante que le pone el té.
Dios mío.
Y ahora solo es cuestión de tiempo. Se va a ir sintiendo cada vez más débil, hasta que finalmente se va a desvanecer. Usted está muerta.
To adding music for no reason.
Tenemos derecho a volver a lo simple.
The final shot of the original is this gorgeous zoom-out shot going upwards, from a close-up of Walt's face to a wide of Walt's dead body with officers surrounding him. There's even a bluish light on Walter. Meanwhile, in Metastasis, it's also a zoom-out, but it's diagonal, never really feeling grandiose, and if we use these two shots to represent the quality of these two shows, I'd say that's fitting.
Yo no estoy en peligro. Yo soy el peligro.
Thank you, Natalie Kolb, Allison Davis, and Variapon for the fan art. Natalie Kolb is actually a voice actress in Interstellar Ranger Commence and has just married an actor who is also on the show as well, Jacob. So Allison, another voice actor, drew their two characters getting married, so congrats to them. If you want to see what character Natalie's playing, well...
It's a long story.
Thanks so much for watching the video. Check out the merch, check out Manscaped, and check out Interstellar Ranger Commence. And now to the Patreon question of the video. Anita Sleep, a patron for literally years, so I love her, she is great, asks, where is your dream place to live? And that's a great question, because currently in the US, it's not amazing, but I've always dreamed of living in New York, and that's pretty much where I am. And that's where I go to school too, so it's a lot of fun. It really is. California also seems nice, but I feel like that's a really expensive place, and I don't know about that, you know? But, you know, I've always dreamed of being in New York because that's where Spider-Man is, and so it's great to be here. Thanks so much for the question. Thank you so much for supporting me, patrons. Thank you, Chad Nation, for watching. If you don't know what the Chad Nation is, well, I call my subscribers Chads, and all of them shave with Manscaped, even the ladies. Yes. Thank you so much for coming to the table, and I'll see you all next time.